Oof. What a disaster. So, yes, hello and welcome to this week's movie talk. So, last week, I told you that Strange World was looking to open somewhere between 15 to 25. That was what they were predicting for the 3-day, not the 5-day. The 5-day was closer to 40. Well, lo and behold, it turns out the 15 to 25 was actually a lot more accurate for the 5-day. 18.6 million for 5 days, about 12 million for the 3-day. That is truly a disaster. This is such a disaster. I hope Disney, this should have some company soul searching. To be honest with you, I don't see how Disney animation can continue as is. They need another sequel, or they just need to make good movies. I haven't seen this movie, to be fair, but I've heard that it is very bad, and we are going to talk about that in just a moment. First, I have to bring up its galactic-sized budget of about $135 million. And it's not doing any better overseas. It only made like $9 million overseas. So it's not even going to come close to that budget. It might not even crack $100 million worldwide. That would be a disaster. It's CinemaScore. B CinemaScore. That's the lowest ever for Disney animated movie. That is truly shocking. Not even Pixar has ever fallen into the B range. Disney, I believe, has gotten, their lowest one was, for, Chicken Little at an A-. This is a B. That's crazy. By the way, most families, they typically give family movies A-, A+, because they don't expect that much from them. They're like, yeah, that was pretty good for what it was, but it seems that everybody just does not like this movie. And like I said, overseas, it's doing much worse. 28 million global opening. That is truly shocking. With this, I would probably say that final grosses in the 35 to 40 million range domestic, 25 to 35 million range overseas, 60 to 75 million range, overall. That's where I would put this. I'm like, I don't see it coming more than 75. I quite frankly don't. I think this movie is just gonna drop like a rock, like Lightyear, and then everybody forgets about it. Yep, you heard that right. Lightyear only made $226 off a $200 million budget, no less. That is bad, but this movie, quite frankly, makes Lightyear look like a hit. Who knew Disney was better off back then? This is truly bad. I will keep tabs on this next week, by the way, to see how big its drop actually is. But, this opening weekend, this is just very bad. I can't even say it's like a streaming movie. And it's not even a mid-level movie. It just seems like a movie that should not have been made. As for the movie that actually won the weekend easily was Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, making about another $46 million. 31% drop for a total of $367.7 and $675 million worldwide. Now, as for the $1 billion club, it seems like that's not going to happen. I would probably pin this movie in the mid 800 range. Potentially, maybe even 900. If it plays really well for the next 2 weeks, and maybe even for the Christmas season, it could crack 900. But I just don't see it getting much more than that. $1 billion is just a foregone. It's not going to happen. I think if it was released in China, it could have. But China doesn't release Disney movies anymore. Except for Avatar 2. Avatar: The Way of Water, by the way, it has gotten a China release date. It's going to release day and date, as it does domestically. So, when Avatar comes out, we will keep tabs on that. As for number 3, that went to Glass Onion. Pretty impressive for a Netflix movie. Like, this movie is going on Netflix in a month, and it's the sequel to Knives Out, which I believe had a 5-day 3 years ago of about 40 million, if I'm not mistaken. So it's doing quite nicely. And again, 40 million, 13 million, you might be like, oof, that's a disaster, but it's really not, because it's going to make the bulk of its money on Netflix, on streaming. So I would say Glass Onion is doing just fine. Sorry about that. Black Adam. A little update on Black Adam. It looks like it might hit 400 million. Last week I said it looked like it was not going to. This weekend I would say it's possible. It's possible. It made another 12 million throughout from last Sunday to today. You know, like from week to week. So it certainly is doable. I don't know if it's actually going to happen. It would need like another 8 million domestic, maybe like another like 13, 14 million overseas. But it's certainly possible. Overall top 10, Devotion. Debuted right on par with expectations. Didn't underperform, didn't overperform. I guess it did open on the lower end of expectations, but it was still well within range. The Menu had a pretty good second weekend drop, 42%. Global total to date, 33.5 million. Seemed like a movie, though, that should have gone to streaming. Ticket to Paradise, by the way, its global total has risen to about 164 million, so it has broken even. And then you also have The Fabelmans and Bones and All, which are the 2 award contenders. They debuted to little fanfare. As for this coming weekend, you have Violent Night, the only wide release. It's expected to open somewhere between $8 to $13 million. And we will see next weekend. I think it's, likely to debut at second place at this point. But if it does overperform by like 5-6 million, it could be a genuine crowd pleaser. It does have a chance at opening at number 1, but it's almost certainly going to open at number 2. And that's it for this week's movie talk. Sorry it went by so quick. It's just been one of those kind of days. And I will see you guys next week.